Assalamu alaikum everyone. We are here today for a very special episode of Let's Talk About It. Today, we're going to deep dive into Shan Shares and its recently launched tagline. Shan Shares, as you might know, is the corporate entity of Shan Foods. Shan Foods, a locally grown global brand with a presence in over 75 countries across the globe that provides you with quality products. But it's not just a brand that provides you with excellent products. It's a company with purpose. That purpose is to enable community uplift on a local and global scale. This purpose is disseminated and enabled through our platform Shan Shares. Today, it gives me absolute pleasure to introduce to you the guiding force, the driving force, our co-chairperson, Sultan, who is here with us to talk about Shan Shares.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. So Summer, we're here because we have unveiled the new tagline for Shan Shares, and I just wanted to get a little bit of your perspective, your take, your thoughts on the origin, how Shan Shares came into being. So if you could enlighten us a little bit.
So CSR has always been very close to the family and the company as well. And initially when we've always been doing things for CSR and around charity and doing well and giving back and sort of looking at our inner circle and then expanding from that point of view. And slowly we realized that the impact that Shan could actually create, given our value chain where we look at starting from like say the farmer all the way to the end consumer and even our own employees. We saw areas where we could really create some change and really help and create some positivity. And we started doing that slowly. And as the initiative started to grow, we realized that we actually needed a platform for itself. And that's how Shan Shares came about. And we merged it with our corporate communication, and that has become in its own self like an identity for our corporate brand. So that's how it was initiated.
So we like you very rightly mentioned, we know that you guys have always, the family's always been very philanthropic, but has never spoken.
Quietly.
Quietly.
It wasn't something we really wanted to advertise.
And now, could you just give a little insight as to, you talked about backward integration. Could you just shed a little light on what all it is that we're doing?
So there's many different initiatives, and some are they could be starting from, farmer workshops or, training women in those areas for, hygiene or cleanliness or how to just perform daily tasks. And skill enhancement, and not just for women but men as well, because we want not just to focus on women but, empowerment across both genders. So those are some of the initiatives we've taken. We're doing development in terms of working with the crop itself, and that's not something that's very sort of it's not something marketable. It's not that's not why we're doing it. I think that the results of it are also longer term. They're not things that are happening tomorrow, and we want to keep investing in those projects because we feel like if we continue to do that's the only way that things will change.
Okay, that's excellent. And also not just from a business point of view, but I believe personally as well, you're very prone to sponsoring or donating or just being a human, right? But the thing is that also it's not just you empower a lot of people, and I do know that you're into mountain climbing.
So one of it's a personal sort of a sport of choice for me, and it's not something that's very popular in Pakistan when you look at sponsorships. And it's allowed me to actually access a lot of people who are from, you don't even know where, like Shimshal, for example, and women who want to be like mountain runners, and they're really like, they're trying very hard to push themselves in these sports, and there's absolutely no support from anyone. We've sponsored mountaineers, and maybe this is how me personally that I inform the Shan Shares platform a little bit, where I'm bringing opportunities to the platform. These are the people who are looking for help. And the amounts aren't that large, and the support needed isn't quite large. So this is where I plug in my personal sort of interests into the platform, where I'm looking at sports that generally aren't that popular. And it's not just limited to, say, for example, say mountaineering or trekking, but anything that generally doesn't get a lot of attention or value.
Okay, that's excellent. There are a lot of things that Shan Shares works on, under the guidance of Summer. We focus on different SDGs. There's education, which is something that's very close to our hearts. Zero hunger. We work with LRBT, medical, Indus Hospital, Selani, etc. TCF.
Our approach has always been, initially we said, okay, we're going to only work with the UN goals, and we did that for a little bit. And my feedback to Maria always was that that's great, but we should always look at areas where, which link to our sort of business goals and all of that, but also are like directly linked to us. Hunger is a great problem to solve, but honestly, in the long run, I'd rather focus on education. And that's not taking away from all the good work that's being done in the field of trying to feed people.
Yes.
But if you ask me personally, I'd give more weightage to, say, education. And healthcare over a meal.
Of course. And that is something that we work very rigorously on, because there was something that Summer actually said to me. She was just like, why give someone a fish when you can teach them how to fish, right? So that's something that we do, which stretches across all the SDGs, where you want to primarily empower everyone so that they can empower themselves. Summer, going back, so like we mentioned the tagline reveal, right? That very strategically, let's say, ties into the tagline of the company, or the belief and the philosophy. Could you just tell us a little bit about
spreading happiness? And Shan's tagline is "Khushiyan chak lo" or taste happiness. And I think tasting it is one thing, but you also want to spread it. You want to spread that like joy, and maybe in the context of the brand, it's more along the sort of how a meal brings in you sharing that love. But really, for me, Shan, spreading happiness from Shan really just means that we're bringing change. And my always directive to you is look for where you can maximize impact, and try to do those things. Yeah. So those are the two ways that I feel like you're taking the happiness, but you're putting it out there, and that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
Khushiyan baantne se badhti hain.
Yes.
And if I'm creating a change in one person's life, and maybe they're going to do that for somebody else, it's a chain.
Chain reaction and a ripple effect.
Absolutely. And we've seen this in communities where we've taken certain initiatives where we said, okay, we're creating this model, look at our model, and we did this for 3-4 years. And now, 3-4 saal baad, we're realizing that the people that we were working with, showing them these models, and now have adopted them and are also doing it, and teaching other people in their communities how to sort of make more money or be more efficient, or just have a better life for themselves.
Yeah, that's so this is SDG 17, which is partnership for the goals, and I know you're a staunch believer in people coming together and collaborating, because you create more of an impact that way. Can you tell me about any one particular project that was a little closer?
So, everything is close to my heart when it comes to this. I think we do it with a lot of passion and heart. Collaborations, mein agar main baat karun, one thing that jumps to mind is that, I talked about earlier how this is not something that's marketing for us, just for the sake of doing it. We're seen well. I think that we also want to lead by example. And then when we started doing that, other companies also started following and kind of doing certain things. A collaboration by another local company, Smile Industries, and ourselves, we set up a park, they set up the water fans, filtration and all of that. And that community now has a real nice place for the people to actually Korangi mein hai. That's a collaboration that I thought was really impactful. Because green spaces are non-existent. You need that for your mental health.
Yes.
Children don't have a place to play. There's so many things. The aunties don't have a place to walk. It becomes a communal gathering place. Iftaariyan ho rahi hain. Multiple things. Collaborations. TCF ke saath, again, another great organization. I don't think we ought to reinvent the wheel. Organizations exist that are doing fantastic. Brands should support them. We are supportive of multiple, Al Khidmat does a great job, Selani does a great job. And I actually thought before I started working with them that Selani was only a food, distribution place. They're into tech, they're giving, I've seen some of the presentations they've showed me, and some of the work they're doing is fantastic.
It is.
I don't need to go and try to recreate that model. I think we ought to work collaboratively, let them do what they're doing best, and how can we support. We've done some great work with healthcare. There's some really, really good people doing awesome work, and I think that if you collaborate, you're again maximizing the impact. So that's been interesting.
That's excellent. Okay, just as a closing summary, where do you see, the future for this platform?
Honestly, largely so far, I would say that we've kind of kept it centered around Pakistan. And as our business is not just in Pakistan, it's a global business, and we have employees everywhere, we have consumers everywhere, we have people who have brand affinity and loyalty to us. I think we can really take this and make this a much larger and global platform for ourselves. I don't know how long it'll take us for us to get there. I don't know what the journey will be like, but definitely that's the vision.
Yeah.
And even within Pakistan, I think that even though the product is centered around women and our communication is centered around women, I think that we've taken a very sort of equal opportunity stance, even in our CSR, which may not be the most popular thing nowadays. But I feel like why should we limit ourselves? We see opportunities to help men, we'll help men. If we see opportunities to create avenues for women, we'll do that. So that's an area where I feel like we can still expand.
I think that's great. I think that, the fact that this platform has so much support from a woman at a leadership position who is so actively involved in it, I don't think it can go anywhere but up. And inshallah, it will be a platform that is recognized on a global scale.
I also have to, acknowledge the team that works. So you were a very big part of this entire Shan Shares thing, and really being driven by very talented and passionate people who really believe in what we're doing. And I think that without that is also, I'll have the best intentions, but unless we're actually executing properly, it doesn't make sense. So I'm very glad to have a team here that is doing all of these, taking these initiatives, bringing things to us, and because one-way communication is to two-way communication, and that's the best way to work, I think. So thank you.
Thank you. So with that, guys, we're going to wrap up this special episode of Let's Talk About It. And with that, we're just going to continue on our little journey to spread happiness.
Inshallah.
All right. Thank you.